Hey, what's up guys, Lex here bringing you a new video, and today we're taking a look at set 21184, The Bakery. This set comes with 154 pieces and retails for $19.99 in the United States. This is one of those classic $20 sets you see in each wave, and I think this is a pretty good one, at least a very colorful one from the looks of it here. It's got a ton of neat inclusions here, especially for the price range, both in the figure and creature build category. Not to mention a ton of cool accessories, so yeah, very excited to get into it, and without further ado, let's take a look at the build. Here's the set fully built up, but before we take a look at the build, we first have to take a look at the minifigures. Alright, first off here, we're going to be taking a look at the Creeper minifigure, a figure we've seen multiple times before, and we'll continue to see, given that it's a pretty prominent mob in the Minecraft theme and game as a whole. So, with the Creeper, there's not too much to take a look at. Obviously, the custom mold they use here to build it up, it's pretty nice, you know, pretty much what we would expect. I do wish at some point they revisit this Creeper design and give it, you know, more of those square textures, maybe put them in the side tiles, and also go for the lighter green, since I think that fits a little bit more accurately. But so far, I mean, people have been accepting this. I mean, even I've accepted this dark green design as a whole, and knowing Lego, this is good enough for them. So maybe I'm putting my hopes too high if I think they're going to revisit this. But yeah, overall, it's a good mob. If you don't mind the color scheme or anything like that, it's a great figure, a good army builder, and not too much to complain about here. So yeah, guys. So yeah, that's been the Creeper minifigure. Moving on. Next up here, we have the GOAT figure, and it's awesome to finally be getting this guy. Obviously catching up finally to the more recent Minecraft updates. Lego has been slacking in the past couple of years, but recently has started to put more and more sets relating to the recent updates. So I'm happy for that, and obviously the build here for the GOAT is not too bad at all. The head mold they use here, pretty accurate, not much more detail I can really put into it. Obviously I would have liked the horns to be, you know, the color of what you would expect horns to be, either black or depending on the animal brown. But yeah, for the most part everything else looks pretty nice. The build for it, pretty good. What you expect from a Lego Minecraft animal build as a whole. So Lego, pretty good job here. Could have definitely done better, but I'm just glad we're finally catching up with the most recent updates of Minecraft and getting mobs that it's nice to see, and definitely adds a little bit more variety. So yeah, it's been the GOAT figure. Moving on. Next up here, we have a new Skin Minifigure for Lego Minecraft, this being the Baker. A pretty cool design with the green hair and purple eyes there. Its outfit looking pretty similar to, you know, what typical chefs or I guess bakers in this case would look like. It does come with two accessories, this being a diamond sword to obviously defend against any mobs that want to come in and destroy the bakery, and a bucket of milk here. So I don't see any cows in this set, so it's obvious where that milk is coming from. So two accessories that fit pretty well here. Taking a look at the back here, you can see the detail continues on with the little scarf. The red scarf, you can see it's still poking out from the back, and you can see some wrinkles in the chef's gear as well, or the clothing, whatever you want to call it. I do love the gold buttons there. It's very reminiscent of the chef's uniform, which is obviously what they're trying to represent here. And yeah, just overall pretty good figure. No detail in the legs and stuff, but that's pretty much what you would expect from a set in this price range. So yeah, that's been the Baker minifigure. Not bad at all. Moving on. Last up here, we have what it refers to as the Snow Villager. So obviously this is a villager, that's to be expected, and he's in the gear you would expect a villager from a taiga biome to have. So in the back you can see no printing at all, so most of the detail will be coming from the front. You can see a good amount of detail there, going from the white to the gray pattern on the blue clothing, so not bad at all. You can tell it's a farmer villager because of the hat, and something I'm a very big fan of is that you can actually take off the hat. So that's a really neat inclusion, one that I didn't think we would need, one that I think makes a lot of sense thinking about it. They don't have to make a head mold for every new villager, farmer villager I should say, so you can just take off the helmet and put it back on. This makes me wish more villagers had like big hat accessories like this, so we can get a good variety of them, but it works perfectly fine with this farmer villager. I'm sure you can give it to other villagers too and it'll work just as fine. So yeah, very fitting to have a farmer villager with the baker. Obviously they're trying to start up this business. That's a pretty good partnership to have. So yeah, that's been the farmer villager. Love the detail on this, loving these new villager designs too, to obviously fit the environments. And though I do love the classic villager look, I don't mind getting some variety in them either. So that's been all the figures included. Now we can finally take a look at the set as a whole. Alright, now we're done taking a look at the minifigures. We can take a look at the build. Alright, here we go. So starting out from the left, then moving our way to the right, we can take a closer look at this set. Moving the creeper out of the way, but we'll still play a very key function here. We have a chest here on top of what appears to be a snow pillar. So this looks like we are obviously in a mountainous biome, or at least near one. We have a gold included in here, as mentioned before, and obviously we have a little bit of a snow patch on top of some stones. So taking a closer look at what's actually inside of this chest, you can see if we open it up, it does have an egg inside, so just a couple of essential resources needed to obviously cook up or bake up a bunch of products to sell, as we'll take a look at a little bit later. And as you saw there's a little bit of a play feature there, obviously meant to represent the explosion of a creeper. As you would expect in most Lego sets, you get TNT or you get a creeper in these smaller Lego builds, and with that inclusion you're gonna have something like this where you just push down on it and a certain area of the map goes flying, this being the chest, and that's what these figures here are trying to protect against. But you have a chest accessory there. Speaking of, this is new mold for the Minecraft chest. It is fully square, or I guess rectangle in this case, and instead of using the old chest piece, you have one specifically for Minecraft that at least fits in very well with the rest of the square build. So that's pretty nice that they include that and made this here. And moving on to the right, you can see a little bit of the, and moving on to the right, you can see an extension of the snow patch, moving into a little bit more of a plain slash grassy biome. So here, moving the figures out of the way, and then a closer look at what is actually inside. So on the inside, you can see a little bit of a red carpet as well as a stone floor. So not much redesigning when it comes to the floor besides the carpet. On the right side, you can see a bed, which we'll take a closer look at later, but what I primarily want to focus on is the top of the roof here. This is the start of the stand, leading into a nice dark pink and white pattern here. So that's pretty nice. Moving on to the right a little bit more, you can see the stand where obviously the villager is selling his product. This being a cake, a cookie, and some bread. Something you would expect from a farmer villager. So it's very fitting here. Speaking of, moving a little bit to the right, past the yellow flower, you can see a little bit of a farm. So obviously they have to get all the resources from somewhere. He's got the sugarcane for the cake, he's got the wheat for the bread and all the other desserts as well, and a little bit of a water source to keep it growing. Speaking of, in addition to that, we also have a composter here on the inside. You can see there's some bread in there. So typically you wouldn't store bread or really any resource in there because the composter is meant to turn into bone meal, but obviously Lego likes using it as a storage device, so that's how we're using it here, holding some bread to either trade or keep for himself. Something I forgot to point out is the lantern up here. Pretty nice little light source and fits into the environment fairly well. Turning this around, you can see a little bit of a different entrance here to the shop. So we do have a fence gate here, obviously to act as the door or barrier to prevent anything from coming in, but given the fact that the front of the store is pretty open, I don't think that's very necessary. But hey, to each their own. The fence gate works as you would expect, nothing too special there. We've seen that multiple times. We have the fence pillars here being used as well. We've seen that in a couple of sets in the past, and still works pretty good here, especially for the stand. Taking a closer look at the inside here, you can see more of the stone layout for the flooring. You also get a crafting table, which you would expect to see in like 90% of Minecraft sets, and of course you get a yellow bed, so he does live here. Not much of a house, but obviously it's enough to thrive and survive. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this bakery. The player here provides protection, the villager here provides the goods. So this is a $25 set, and I think for its price it definitely provides a good bit of value. Obviously with the go here, a new figure, one of the most recent updates, and glad to see Lego finally catching up to the Minecraft updates. That's something they struggled with in the past. They seem to be doing pretty good now in recent times. You get a villager here, which I mean, I already went over the detail here, pretty awesome. Glad to see here. New figure, you get a creeper here as the enemy figure, to be expected. Still would have liked the lighter green, but what are you going to do? It's been working out for them. You get a little farm layout. Obviously the bakery as a whole, it's a pretty good structure. I guess the idea across, especially with the front of it, and yeah, not too much to complain about here. So yeah guys, I hope you did enjoy. Tell me what you guys think about this set down below. You think it's worth it? You think they could have done better with the price, or is it okay in your book? Tell me what you guys think down below. But anyways guys, I hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Consider becoming a member to keep feeding the addiction, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good and safe rest of your day. Adios.